Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody this wonderful morning?
Amazing.
Don't you just love that song there by the Fleetwood Mac?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were in town, what, 2 or 3 years ago, and I went and saw them because I couldn't remember whether I saw them or before or not. I think I might have saw them, but I wanted to remember. So I went to see them. That's just a fantastic song. And Don't Stop, that's a really good theme. So today it's Soar with the Eagles or Scratching with the Turkeys. Wow.
That's better. We're recording. You're recording.
Oh, didn't know that was live. Okay. I just got to stand back. I find that thing a little intimidating.
That's all right.
Make your power down! Okay. So, you might think that soaring with the eagles or scratching with the turkeys is a little bit of a strange topic to have just after Thanksgiving, and a strange topic. In particular, when this month the theme is expressing gratitude. And I am gratefully and wonderfully blessed. Well, that's true. And you know, I always, you got to get the perspective. I don't know what eagles and turkeys mean to you, but I always go back to two things, events that happened in my life. My grandfather had a farm out by Cochrane. He was a mixed farmer. So he had everything, but he always had more, and that's how he supported his family. And so one of the things he had was a turkey pen, because he always had extra turkeys for the season. And I always had to go take care of tending to the turkeys and cleaning up this and that and the other thing. And I used to stand there and watch the turkeys. You ever stand and watch turkeys? Anybody? Yeah, one in the back, yeah. I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about the birds. Well, it's very interesting how they go about functioning, because they're all in this enclosed area, and constantly all they're doing is walking around doing their thing, everything of their thing, and pecking in the ground. And you know, they don't look up much, and they don't look out much. And so the turkey kind of got a real specific view of life, and it's very limited and restricted. And they seem to peck around in a lot of stuff that doesn't seem to be desirable to peck around in. However, you know, a turkey is a turkey. It can't help it. It's just the way it is. And then the other bird that I really spend a lot of time looking at whenever I see one is an eagle. I just love eagles, you know. And you don't see a whole lot of them out in the mountains. Out on the coast you do. But I just sit down there and I just watch that eagle, you know. And they're just in a matter of a few moments, he's in a place where it would take me a day and a half to get to. And I can still see him. And the thing I like about the eagle is a very, very mystical bird in the indigenous philosophy, but it flies higher than any other bird, you know, and it has a very acute sense of sight and awareness, and very selective, and has quite a menu to choose from, whereas the turkeys don't. Now, an eagle can't help but being an eagle, but I like to look at my journey as whether I'm soaring with the eagle or scratching with the turkey. So what do we mean by that? How do I scratch like a turkey? Well, you know, when, and this gamekeeper out, there's a lot of different ways, but we're focusing around gratitude at this time of year, because gratitude is one of the chief graces that'll move us from where we are into a better place. And that's taking that time to practice gratitude every day. And that's one thing we don't do enough of. But when we're starting to look and covet what other people have and we don't, oh, I sure like that. I wonder what they did to get that. If I only had that, then I would be something different. Yeah, happy, maybe even happy. Yeah, I don't even thought about that one. Okay? And, or we look at it from another perspective of what I don't have and why I can't have it. Anybody ever look at stuff that you can't have and why you can't have it? Gee, you could get yourself into quite a state. And then the other thing is we get a lot of time into judgment. You know, that's one of the key philosophies of things that Jesus taught, was judging and how much problem it causes us. And nobody seems to get it. When we're focusing in on judging other people and conditions and things, now there's a difference between observing and evaluating and judging. Okay? That's a fine line too, by the way. But when we're looking at that, what we're looking at is we're looking at what's wrong with other people, other things, or other events. And the worst thing about all of that is the real judging starts when we look at the person in the mirror. And whenever we're down on other people, down on things, looking at lack and limitation, and getting down on ourselves, we're no different than a turkey. We're just in an enclosed pen, walking around, pecking in the dirt, and stepping in whatever we're stepping in, and pecking whatever we're pecking in. And after a while, we even develop a smell of that, don't we, when we're doing that? It doesn't smell good, it doesn't feel good. But that's a choice, folks. When we're browbeating ourselves, when we're judging, when we're doing any of that, that's a choice. It's always a choice. Nobody can make you think that way. Oh, I wish somebody could and I could just turn it off. But it doesn't work like that. So then, now, what can I do to soar with the eagle? Well, one of the key things in this journey, it's so easy to get distracted by circumstances, situations, and events. So one of the key things I call about soaring with the eagles is learn to walk in the eye of the storm. Okay? I am calm, I am centered, I am peaceful, I am poised at all times and in all situations. And as I affirm that, and walk with that, that is another way, if we take it spiritually, for having faith and walking with faith. Because when we walk with faith and we have faith and stay in that calmness, our declaration is that we have a conviction and a trust that the Spirit will give us whatever it is that we need to do or say at any time and in any situation. By the way, if you're thinking, well, it's easy to talk about, easy for you to say, try doing it. Well, I've been trying to do it for a long time, and you're right, it's easy to talk about, folks. All of this is easy. Knowledge is easy to talk about. It's the actual application of doing it that takes us to a little bit of a different level. And you might say, well, what if there's no storm? There is a storm everywhere. The storm is being in the sea and the conditions that are around you. Well, it's nice and good sailing weather. Hurrah! Then I get to take that calmness and step into niceness. See, the eye of the storm just isn't for stuff that's turbulent. It's to step into life and maintain that to the best of our ability and not get involved in the distractions, and to take that eye into all of our circumstances and situations, in particular relationships with people, and then we'll be able to navigate our way through this experience in a way that gives us more and takes less from us. Because it can only take from us if we choose to be like that and scratch like a turkey. So we get that choice. We get the choice to take that higher road. And really, the basic simples of the simple part about getting down to this is just checking in the mirror every day, several times a day, and just, how do you feel about what you're looking at? Get in real touch with that. And if you're having a problem, or you're not 100% comfortable, then I'm going to give you something to do that will either get you right where you need to be or make you totally uncomfortable. It's called I love and approve of myself, and here's the catch, exactly as I am. Okay? You can do all the loving and approving of yourself that you want, but until you accept exactly as I am, I gotta love and approve of myself exactly as I am before I can evolve and change. Does that may mean that I like exactly as I am? Probably not. That doesn't matter. You just gotta learn to love and approve of yourself because you can change. Has anybody here ever gone on a weight release program and tried to release weight? And you know what? Everybody always wants to start somewhere else. I like to start 20 pounds lighter. Let's start there. It don't work like that. You got to start where you are. I remember going through that affirmation. One of my favorite ones is with the Buddha on the sink. When I chipped in it, I called it the Buddha. It was 425 pounds. You want to try that on for size? That's about 210 pounds more than I am right now. So figure that one out. Okay, and then trying to look in the mirror naked twice a day for a half hour, both times, standing there going, I love and approve of myself exactly as I am. Yeah, rubbing the Buddha. Twice a day, half hour a day, 6 months. At the end of 6 months, one day something different happened. When I did that, I didn't get the usual, you know the stuff that I got. I don't want to get into it because it isn't nice. I didn't get it. One day I didn't get it. I'm going, what? I didn't get that? And then it became a little bit easier after that to do the work. But you see, you have to remember the field of dreams. Anybody ever say that? And you remember what the voice said?
Build it and they will come.
And? Oh, you see, there's part of what we miss in life. We see something so profound like that, but we miss the rest of the story because we don't pay attention to the overall picture. And this is where we scratch with turkeys. So, the voice said, build it and they will come. Yeah, build it. Anything we want and it will come. Whatever we need, right? Then you got to go to the second step. You see, most people didn't get the second and third step the voice said, did you? Ease his pain. So any of the pain that you have when you build what it is that you want is just because of some negative self-defeating thinking that you have and a belief system in you that hurts, that says that you're not good enough for that. So you have to ease the pain. You got to learn that that's part of what happens when you want something. You have to remove any restrictions or limitations. The ones out there are easy to deal with. It's the ones in here that give us the trouble. Okay? And then the third thing the voice said, the last thing, worth going to see the movie again and see what else is in there, folks. There's a lot there. I'll give you a few tidbits. Go the distance. Right? So when you get that first part of the story and the second and the third, put it together. It's a model. And go see that and see what else is there. Like sometimes you got something that's here, you don't know why, it doesn't make sense, but it's just something that you need to do. And how many times have you talked yourself out of that and said, I wish I would have? Anybody? I wish I would have listened. Okay? So sometimes there's those things that we just have to do that feel like the right thing to do, that don't make any sense, but they will when we do them. And then watch out for coincidences. Anytime a coincidence happened, you go, oh, it wasn't that a coincidence. Yes, it was, but it was more than that. It was a little spiritual tweak a little message. So you see, we need to start opening up and looking at more of what we see, because our initial perception is something that we can walk away with, and that may or may not be the truth, or all of the truth, or the value that we can get from it. If you're so bold, have a look at the dark crystal and try that on for size and have a chat with me on that one. It's a real good one. So, one of the things that in order for us to be able to soar with the eagles is to remember this little quote I come across. I couldn't find this person. It was a person by the name of Belfa who said, "It's not happy people who are grateful. It's grateful people who are happy." Okay? Not happy people that are grateful. It's grateful people that are happy. And you know, one of the things that is the saddest part about our day-to-day journey, in particular for all of us of awareness and learning into this, is that we do not spend enough of our time in gratitude on a day-to-day basis. In fact, the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning and look at the mirror, do you go, "Oh, good morning, God"? Or is it "Good God morning"? Right? So that's one of the things that we got to do is to begin to shape our day. And then we got that disease that we've got to deal with. Oh my goodness. It's called I can't-itis. Well, it's going to be in a medical book one day. It's called I can't-itis. It just is a limiting thing. Anybody do that? I can't do that. Okay? And you know, there's a lot of things I say I can't do, which are absolutely true. However, start following up with this. Yeah, I can't do that, but I know somebody that can. And generally, if we look at it, we get people that like doing it. My boy does our cars for us, and I don't know how he does it, eh? He likes doing it for us. I don't like doing that stuff. I don't. And I can do it, but it's an I can't thing. I can't do it really well because it always costs me more to get it fixed after I did it than it did before it was fixed by me. And you can ask Anna, that's the truth. Unfortunately, it's just like that. But I really like people that love what they do, because I don't do anything I don't like to do. Unless it's stuff that I can do. But if it's other stuff, I don't do it. I get people that like to do it. And then they do it, and while they're liking doing it, I can give them something what I like to do, which gives them a few little tidbits of wisdom. And they're grateful for that. That's the best thing they can get. Because I like to find solutions. Anybody here like to find solutions? I'm extremely solution-oriented. I wish I could honestly look at you and tell you that I was developed that way. But the reason why I am solution-oriented, because I got in so much damn trouble. I had to be. If I didn't look like for solutions, I'd really be in trouble. So it does have a benefit to us as we go along. So then the other thing is, we're talking about what we're grateful for ourselves and everything. We can look at that and that. But, you know, what around the house are you grateful? How many people were grateful this morning for toilet paper? I know Susan was, because she did make some comments about it to warn somebody about the shortage of the supply downstairs of the ladies. Not that I was interested, but somebody with me was. Now, I'm sure that she was grateful for that this morning, and so was the other person grateful. But you know, you might think about that and think, well, what the? Yeah, we take that for granted, right? Take away toilet paper for 3 weeks and see what you think. I gotta tell you, that's an interesting experience that I had. And I was on a light mountaineering program with Outward Bound, and we had a choice. because we were carrying everything, and there were no towels, no soap, no cloths, nothing like that. And it got down to the packs were heavy, and it got down to the toilet paper. You know, it takes up a lot of space. And then the rule on this was pristine, so you had to carry a couple of big cans of kerosene and a burn cab and some plastic bags, so that when you used it, you could put it in the plastic bag and carry it all day, and at the end of the day you could burn it and bury the ashes. Does this sound like fun? Just so you could have toilet paper? I didn't want it. So we went 21 days with no toilet paper, and the only soap we had was organic soap when it was your day to do the cooking. Other than that, it was every man and woman for himself. And we spent 15 days on the snow, so it really got quite handy there. You could make the snow like that, and it was going ching-ching, just like going through a debit machine, eh? But you know, I got home. Sorry after the visual, but but you know, and I'll never forget the day I got home. I went into the bathroom and. A bathroom? Yeah. And there was toilet paper there, and I sat there, not doing anything, just being engrossed in the toilet paper and being grateful for it. Honest to God, that's true. So, you know, we take so many things for granted. At the time that we start whining and really give attention to toilet paper is when there's a problem with it. There isn't any, right? Right? We're talking about that today. That's the thing. And then we might have a moment of gratitude when we find some at that very important moment. But it is, what else are we taking for granted that we have, that we really are grateful for if we stopped and thought about it, as opposed to how many things are we thinking about that we don't have? And that we should have them, or maybe we can't, or whatever. So you see, it's all about perspective. So each of us has a choice. Remember too that what Plato said is a grateful mind is a great mind, and eventually attracts to it great things. So we need to spend more time being grateful for the people, the experiences, and the situations that we have around us and the things, as opposed to less time feeling like we're missing or we don't have. And if there's something we truly desire, build it, and it will come. Ease the pain and go the distance. It'll be there for us, maybe not exactly like we thought, but a way better. My Santa business is going phenomenal this year. It's more than tripled from last year. Last year was the best year ever. And what's the reason? It's because of gratitude. We are so grateful to be able to do that, and so grateful to be able to channel the consciousness of the highest and best of Mr. and Mrs. Claus in the minds and hearts of the children, parents, and grandparents through us, and to personify it in that way. That's why it grows, and to be grateful for doing that, and just to do that. You don't have to be marketing and doing anything. You know, if you're marketing with God, that's what people say, who's your agent? God's my agent, folks. I got no cards, I got no website, I got nothing. Except I just help people and just show up and love what we do. And it's happening. So if you're in Saskatoon next Sunday, come and see us. Okay? So I know for myself, and as I close this, what I'm going to do is we're just going to go right into the meditation. So Susan's going to come up right here with me, and I'm going to just do a little bit of a quick prayer treatment to close, and she's going to take us into the meditation. So as I know that there is that one eternal life that is forever giving of itself, and that is God's life, that is my life, your life right here and right now, and I know that we are an open and clear and free-flowing channel of God's love, energy, wisdom, kindness, and prosperity, and that our soul knows where we need to go and what we need to do to experience peace, prosperity, fulfillment, and happiness. And I know that divine right action takes place in our lives, and there's a gradual, orderly, sequential unfoldment into form of the highest and best that we are.